How the Wolf of Wall Street scam works. If you're a fan of finance and business on YouTube, you've probably watched The Wolf of Wall Street quite a few times. It's an incredible movie that's influenced countless people in the sales world. One thing in the movie always struck me as a bit off: the way they talk about IPOs, short for initial public offerings. This is when a company starts selling its stock to regular people like you and me for the first time. In the movie, they kind of oversimplify it, making it look like some Wall Street big shots just set the stock prices and pass them off to their friends. But really, an IPO is a huge deal for a company. It's their big moment to enter the public market, and it involves a lot more than just some high flyers making a few phone calls. It's about valuation, market interest, and a whole bunch of legal and financial prep work. It's a complex process that can shape the future of a company and its relationship with public investors. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty of Jordan Belfort, the real Wolf of Wall Street. It's essential to remember that the film is more of a Hollywood roller coaster than a true-to-life documentary. The actual story of Belfort is like a game of telephone. With each retelling, it gets more embellished and dramatic. Picture the movie as the colorful icing on a cake, where the cake itself is Belfort's real life, but not as flashy. They had to leave out some bits that were too wild, probably because it would seem like they were bragging about all the illegal shenanigans and heaps of money they made. And let's talk about Martin Scorsese. The guy is a genius at capturing the tumultuous lives of criminal kingpins, but he's not the one to break down complex financial scams for you. That's more my turf. So, here we go. We're about to peel back the layers of Stratton Oakmont, the company Belfort built from the ground up. It's a story about how this firm turned into a money-making powerhouse, churning out fortunes at an almost unbelievable rate. It's not just about the glitz and glam. It's about the cunning strategies, the sales tactics, and the high-stakes games they played in the financial playground. We're diving deep into the workings of Stratton Oakmont, exploring the brains and the brawn behind Belfort's wild ride to riches. Get ready to discover the intricate web of deals and deceit that lined the pockets of Belfort and his crew, and how they managed to pull off one of the most infamous financial escapades in Wall Street history. Let's dive deeper into Jordan Belfort's early days. He got his marching orders from a big Wall Street firm, setting the stage for his infamous career. Now, let's rewind to the 1990s, a time when trading stocks wasn't just a few clicks away. If you wanted to dabble in the stock market, you had to actually call up a stockbroker. These brokers were the gatekeepers to the world of trading, and they didn't just dish out advice for free. They made their bread and butter through trade commissions, and we're not talking peanuts here. Trades could cost up to 2% of the total trade value. Imagine this. Every time you decide to buy or sell stocks, a slice of that pie goes to the broker and their firm. For them, every phone call meant potential profit. It was a lucrative time to be a broker, as they cashed in on every move investor made in the market. Belfort entered this world at a time when the role of a stockbroker was not just about managing portfolios, but also about navigating through a commission-driven trade landscape. After his Wall Street gig, Belfort found his way to places like Investor Center, known in the biz as over-the-counter brokerages. These weren't your high-profile Wall Street firms. They played by different rules. They operated off the beaten path of public exchanges, meaning they didn't have to stick to the strict rules that the big guys did. Now, here's how it worked. Some company desperate for cash would come knocking on their door, looking to raise funds. And these OTC brokerages? They'd say, "Sure, we can help you out, but we'll need a big slice of whatever you raise." Think about it. If a company is willing to hand over a fat portion of their funds just to get some cash in the door, it's a pretty big red flag. It often meant these weren't the kind of investments you'd brag about to your friends. More risk, less regulation, and a lot of hope. That was the game in these less famous financial playgrounds. Jordan Belfort turned Stratton Oakmont into a money-making juggernaut. But it wasn't all clean and clear. Picture this. Belfort's crew, these rat holes, were like the secret players in a high-stakes game. They quietly snapped up loads of stock in small-time companies, getting ready for the big play. Once they had enough stock, Belfort gave the signal, and that's where the frenzy began. His team of brokers would hit the phones, selling these stocks with the enthusiasm of a preacher at a revival. Prices soared like rockets. It was like a financial gold rush. But here's where the plot thickens. Once the stock prices hit their peak, Belfort's buddies, those rat holes, would sell off all their shares, cashing in on the frenzy they'd helped create. They made a fortune in the blink of an eye. The regular Joe who bought into the hype? They were left holding a bag of worthless stocks as prices crashed back down to earth. It was a slick, well-executed plan. A textbook case of pump and dump. Belfort and his inner circle laughed all the way to the bank, while everyday investors were left scratching their heads, wallets lighter than before. Stratton Oakmont's game reached new heights when they began dabbling in IPOs, or initial public offerings. Now, that's when a company first sells its stock to the public on a big stage. Belfort used his tried-and-true method here, too. He'd have his rat holes snap up a bunch of stock in a company gearing up to go public. Once that company hit the public market, Belfort's brokers would go into overdrive, selling the stock like it was the hottest thing since sliced bread. This frenzy would jack up the stock price big time. Then, at just the right moment, the rat holes would cash out, pocketing a hefty profit. Belfort was playing a clever game, mixing the Wild West vibe of over-the-counter trading with the credibility of publicly traded stocks. And voila, he had cooked up the perfect recipe for a financial scam on a grand scale. Hold on a minute, let's take a step back. You might be thinking, okay, so we've moved past those old-school stock market scams, right? Well, not so fast. It turns out, these sly tactics have just evolved and found a new playground. The world of cryptocurrencies. The scene has shifted from the bustling trading floors to the virtual world of the internet. Instead of the sharp-suited, smooth-talking brokers from the past, we now see online forums, Discord channels, and influencers driving the hype. It's a digital age twist on an age-old scheme. Pump and dump scams have simply dressed themselves up in modern clothes. The strategy? Get people excited about a new, often obscure crypto coin. Watch as the masses jump on board, and then at the peak, the initiators cash out, leaving many high and dry. The formula remains the same. Build up hype, create a buying frenzy, and then bail out with the profits. In this new era, the tools and platforms may have changed, but the essence of the hustle remains intact, a testament to the saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Before we wrap up, I really want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of you who've been following and supporting this journey. It's your enthusiasm and backing that keep this channel thriving, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. Each like, subscription, and comment not only boosts the channel, but also fuels my motivation to dive deeper into the fascinating world of finance for you. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more engaging content, and ring that bell to stay updated with all the latest videos. I'm eager to read your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Your insights always add so much value to our discussions. I'm already excited to bring you more informative and intriguing content in the next video. Until then, take care and stay curious.